Okay, so what's the story? Monkey Paw?
Yeah,
Who's it written by? Does it say?
Jacob, W. W. Jacobs.
W. W. Jacobs. Okay, I've heard of this
This is royalty
story.
free. This is a very old story.
Okay. Okay, I've heard of the story before.
Yeah,
I haven't.
we did read in class.
You had to read it in class?
Yeah, it's a good story.
Okay. All right. We'll start us off, Ben.
The monkey's paw. Without, the night was cold and wet, but in the small parlor of Laburnam Villa, the blinds were drawn and the fire burned brightly. Father and son were at chess. The former, who possessed ideas about the game involving radical changes, putting his king into such sharp and unnecessary perils that it even provoked comment from the white-haired old lady knitting placidly by the fire.
Hark at the wind.
Said Mr. White, who, having seen a fatal mistake after it was too late, was amiably desirous of preventing his son from seeing it.
I'm listening.
Said the latter, grimly surveying the board as he stretched out his hand.
Check.
Is still you here?
Oh, I should hardly think that he'd come tonight.
Said his father, with his hand poised over the board.
Mate.
Replied the son.
That's the worst of the living so far out.
A little weird.
Yeah, that's a weird. I'm assuming this is
Bald.
old. Like, old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bawled Mr. White, with sudden and unlooked for violence.
Of all the beastly, slushy, out of the way places to live in, this is the worst pathways a bog. And the roads as a torrent. I don't know what people are thinking about. I suppose because only 2 houses in the road are let, they think it doesn't matter. Never mind, dear.
Said his wife soothingly.
Perhaps you'll win the next one.
Mr. White looked up sharply, just in time to intercept a knowing glance between mother and son. The words died away on his lips, and he had a guilty grin in his thin gray beard.
There he is.
Said Herbert White, as the gate banged too loudly, and heavy footsteps came toward the door. The old man rose with hospitable haste, and opening the door, was heard condoling with the new arrival. The new arrival also condoled with himself, so that Mrs. White said,
Tut tut.
and coughed gently as her husband entered the room, followed by a tall, burly man, beady of eye and rubicund of visage.
Sergeant Major Morris.
He said, introducing him. The sergeant major shook hands, and taking the preferred
Preferred.
seat by the fire,
Preferred.
preferred seat by the fire, watched contentedly while his host got out whiskey and tumblers and stood a small copper kettle on the fire. At the third glass, his eyes got brighter, and he began to talk, the little family circle regarding with eager interest this visitor from distant parts, as he squared his broad shoulders in the chair and spoke of wild scenes and doughty deeds, of wars and plagues and strange peoples.
21 years of it.
Said Mr. White, nodding at his wife and son.
When he went away was a slip of a youth in the warehouse. Now look at him. He don't look to have taken much harm.
Said Mrs. White politely.
I'd like to go to India myself.
Said the old man.
Just to look around a bit, you know. Better where you are, said
Said
Sergeant Major,
Mrs.
shaking his head. He
She
put
put
down.
down the
Oh,
emptiness. Uh-oh.
wait, no, you do it.
We got-
Sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself here.
That's fair. It is fun to read.
Yeah.
He put down the empty glass, and sighing softly, shook it again.
I should like to see those old temples and fakers, fakirs,
Fakirs?
fakirs, and jugglers, fakirs.
Said the old man.
What was that? You started telling me the other day about a monkey's paw or something. Morris? Nothing.
Said the soldier hastily.
Leastways nothing worth hearing. Monkey's paw.
said Mrs. White curiously.
Well, it's just a bit of what you might call magic, perhaps.
Said the sergeant major offhandedly. His three listeners leaned forward eagerly. The visitor absent-mindedly put his empty glass to his lips and then set it down again. His host filled it for him.
To look at.
Said the sergeant major, fumbling in his pocket.
It's just an ordinary little paw, dried to a mummy.
He took something out of his pocket and proffered it. Mrs. White drew back with a grimace, but her son, taking it, examined it curiously.
And what is there special about it?
Inquired Mr. White, as he took it from his son, and having examined it, placed it upon the table.
It had a spell put on it by an old fucker.
Oh, fucker.
Old
I think it's
fucker.
fakir.
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 I've never heard
Look at that
fakir. Yeah, look it up. What is that?
A Muslim. Okay.
Oh.
Loosely a Hindu, religious ascetic who lives solely on alms.
I've never heard that, ever.
I haven't either.
Interesting.
Huh.
Okay, well, no. Now you know.
Shit, where were we? Right here. Had to be said by an old fakir. Said the sergeant major.
A very holy man, he wanted to show that fate ruled people's lives and that those who interfered with it did so their sorrow. He put a spell on it so that 3 separate men could each have 3 wishes from it.
His manner was so impressive that his hearers were conscious that their light laughter jarred somewhat.
Well, why don't you have 3, sir?
Said Herbert White cleverly. The soldier regarded him in the way that middle age is wont to regard presumptuous youth.
I have.
He said quietly, and his blotchy face whitened.
And did you really have the 3 wishes granted?
Asked Mr. White.
I did.
Mrs. White. Said the sergeant major, and his glass tapped against his strong teeth.
And has anybody else wished?
Persisted the old lady.
The first man had his 3 wishes, yes.
Was the reply.
I don't know what the first 2 were, but the third was for death. That's how I got the paw.
His tones were so grave that a hush fell upon the group.
If you had your 3 wishes, it's no good to you now, then Morris.
Said the old man at last.
What do you keep it for?
Soldier shook his head.
Fancy, I suppose.
He said slowly.
I did have some idea of selling it, but I don't think it will. I will. It has caused enough mischief already. Besides, people won't buy. They think it's a fairy tale. Some of them. And those who do think anything of it want to try first and pay me afterward. If you have another 3 wishes, said... Oh.
Right there. Oh, if you could have another 3 wishes.
Yeah,
Said the old man, eyeing him keenly.
Would you have them? I don't know.
Said the other.
I don't know.
He took the paw, and dangling it between his forefinger and thumb, suddenly threw it upon the fire. White, with a slight cry, stooped down and snatched it off.
Better let it burn.
Said the soldier, solemnly.
If you don't want it, Morris,
Said the other.
give it to me. I won't.
Said his friend, doggedly.
I threw it on the fire. If you keep it, don't blame me for what happens. Pitch it on the fire again, like a sensible man.
The other shook his head and examined his new possession closely.
How do you do it?
He inquired.
Hold it up in your right hand and wish aloud.
Said the sergeant major.
But I warn you of the consequences. Sounds like Arabian Nights? Arabian Night? Oh, Arabian. My bad.
Yeah, said Mrs. White, as she rose and began to set the supper.
Don't you think you might wish for 4 pairs of hands for me?
Her husband drew the talisman from the pocket, and then all 3 burst into laughter, as the sergeant major, with a look of alarm on his face, caught him by the arm.
If you must wish, he said gruffly, wish for something sensible.
Mr. White dropped it back in his pocket, and placing chairs, motioned his friend to the table. In the business of supper, the talisman was partly forgotten, and afterward the three sat listening in an enthralled fashion to a second installment of the soldier's adventures in India.
If the tale about the monkey's paw is more truthful than those he has been telling us,
Said Herbert, as the door closed behind their guest, just in time for him to catch the last train.
we shan't
We
make much
shall.
of it. Did you give him anything for it, father?
Inquired Mrs. White, regarding her husband closely.
A trifle. Trifle?
Trifle.
Trifle?
Trifle.
What's a trifle?
Uh, remember, I know it's like, I think it's like something little. Trifle, meaning, or is it like, it might be the
Is
snack.
a snack? Was
A
it?
thing of little value or importance. So it's either like I don't know, like a gumball, or it could be this British dessert of
His
sponge cake.
maybe his wife. I don't know.
Yeah, gave him his wife.
So,
Have my wife,
doesn't
sir.
sound like he fancies his wife very much in some of
Does
this
not.
dialogue.
Yeah. Where were we? A trifle. Said he, coloring slightly.
He didn't want it, but I made him take it. See, it was his wife, bro. I'm telling you. And he pressed me again to throw it away. Uh,
Damn.
okay. Likely.
Said Herbert, with pretended horror.
Why? We're going to be rich and famous and happy. Wish to be an emperor, father. To begin with, then you can't be handpecked. Handpicked?
And yeah.
Handpecked? Damn. When
She
was this
darted round.
written, bro?
It,
This gotta be
it's an
old.
old one, dude. It is. It's probably like. Let me scroll. Actually, I won't scroll up. I'll lose the spot.
Okay, let's keep
Uh,
going. We'll
we'll do it later.
we'll do it after.
He darted round the table, pursued by the maligned Mrs. White, armed with an antimacassar. Now I gotta look up
Massacre?
what that is, bro. That sounds like
Cascar?
something awesome. Antimacassar meaning. A piece of cloth put over the back of a chair to protect it from grease and dirt, or as an ornament. Okay, I've seen those.
Hmm.
Mr. White took the paw from his pocket and eyed it dubiously.
I don't know what to wish for, and that's a fact.
She said slowly.
It seems to me I've got all I want.
Bullshit.
If you only cleared the house, you'd be quite happy, wouldn't you?
White, said Herbert, with his hand on his shoulder.
Well, wish for 200 pounds, then. That'll just do it.
His father, smiling shamefacedly at his own crudelty, held up the talisman, as his son, with a solemn face somewhat marred by a wink at his mother, sat down at the piano and struck a few impressive chords.
I wish for 200 pounds.
Said the old man distinctly. A fine crash from the piano greeted the words, interrupted by a shuddering cry from the old man. His wife and son ran toward him.
It's just gonna be like a weight that says 200 pounds on it.
Probably be hilarious. Gain 200 pounds.
Oh, shit. It's moved.
He cried with a glance of disgust at the object as it lay on the floor.
As I wished. Oh, it twisted in my hand like a snake. Well, I don't see the money,
Said his son, as he picked it up and placed it on the table.
and I bet I never shall. It must have been your fancy, father.
Said his wife, regarding him anxiously.
He
He
shook
shook his
his head.
head.
Oh, shit. Never mind, though. There's no harm done, but it gave me a shock all the same.
They sat down by the fire again, while the two men finished their pipes. Outside, the wind was higher than ever, and the old man started nervously at the sound of a door banging upstairs. A silence unusual and depressing settled upon all three, which lasted until the old couple rose to retire for the night.
I expect you'll find the cash tied up in a big bag in the middle of your bed.
said Herbert, as he bade them good night.
And something horrible squatting on top of the wardrobe watching you as you pocket your ill-gotten gains. Ill-gotten gains?
Ill,
Ill-gotten
ill
gains.
again. He sat alone in the darkness, gazing at the dying fire, and seeing faces in it. The last face was so horrible and so simian that he gazed at it in amazement. It got so vivid that, with a little uneasy laugh, he felt on the table for a glass containing a little water to throw over it. His hand grasped the monkey's paw, and with a little shiver he wiped his hand on his coat and went up to bed.
Just like a little fucking portrait of his wife in the fire all shriveled up. Just,
Yuck. In, right, he does not like his family, bro.
it doesn't sound like it. Maybe it's the way I'm reading
Fucking
it, but like I don't know.
in the brightness of the wintry sun next morning, as it streamed over the breakfast table, he laughed at his fears. There was an air of prosaic wholesomeness about the room which it had lacked on the previous night, and the dirty, shriveled little paw was pitched on the sideboard with a carelessness which betokened no great belief in its virtues.
I suppose all the old soldiers are the same.
Said Mrs. White.
The idea of our listening to such nonsense. How could wishes be granted in these days? And if they could, how could 200 pounds hurt you, father? Might drop on his head from the sky.
Said the frivolous Herbert.
Morris said the things happen so naturally
Said his father.
that you might, if you so wished, attribute it to a coincidence. Well, don't break into the money before I come back.
Said Herbert, as he rose from the table.
So the money did appear?
So, I I could say what happens, but that's spoiling. I
No,
know how
don't
it
spoil it.
works.
I thought the money didn't appear.
He will get the money. He will get it.
Oh, okay. 'Cause, like, it seemed here like he already had it.
No.
Oh, okay.
Right here.
I'm afraid it'll turn you into a mean avid. Oh, what's that?
Avaricious, avaricious,
A very?
I've said this word before. I swear to God. Isn't it just like aggressive? Oh, greed. Okay.
Av-
Avaricious.
It
Avaricious.
sounds like a Harry
Okay.
Potter spell, dude.
Avaricious. Turn this bitch into a stitches. I don't fucking know.
That was so far. That was forced.
It was, bro. For my
Um,
coworkers, he's so good at doing that. Yeah.
okay, we're just gonna say a greedy man,
A greedy man.
and we shall
Uh,
have to disown you.
Damn. His mother laughed, and following him to the door, watched him down the road, and returning to the breakfast table, was very happy at the expense of her husband's crudelty. All of which did not prevent her from scurrying to the door at the postman's knock, nor prevent her from referring somewhat shortly to retired sergeant majors of bibulous habits when she found that the post brought a tailor's bill.
Oh, she banging the postman?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Some lore.
50 Shades of Male in this bitch.
Oh.
Oh. Herbert will have some more of his funny remarks, I expect, when he comes home.
He said as they sat at dinner.
I dare say, said Mr.
I
White,
dare
pouring
say.
himself out some beer, but for all that, the thing moved in my hand. That I swear to you. Though it did, said the old lady soothingly. I say it did, replied the other.
Replied the other.
There was no
Greed,
thought.
bro.
There was no thought. There was no thought about it. I had just, what's the matter?
His wife made no reply. She was watching the mysterious movements of a man outside, who, peering in an undecided fashion at the house, appeared to be trying to make up his mind to enter, in mental connection with the 200 pounds. She noticed that the stranger was well dressed, and wore a silk hat of glossy newness. 3 times he paused at the gate, and then walked on again. The 4th time he stood with his hand upon it, and then with sudden resolution flung flung it open, and walked up the path. Mrs. White at the same moment placed her hands behind her and hurriedly unfastened the strings of her apron, put that useful article of apparel beneath the cushion of her chair. She brought the stranger, who seemed ill at ease, into the room. He gazed at her furtively. What is that word? Furtively. In a way that attempts to avoid notice or attention. Secretively.
Ah.
He gazed at her furtively and listened in a preoccupied fashion as the old lady apologized for the appearance of the room and her husband's coat, a garment which he usually reserved for the garden. She then waited as patiently as her sex would permit
Oh.
for him to broach his business, but he was at first strangely silent.
I was asked to call.
He said at last, and stooped and picked a piece of cotton from his trousers.
I come from Ma and Megan's.
The old lady started.
Is anything the matter?
She asked breathlessly.
Has anything happened to Herbert? What is it? What is it?
Her husband interposed.
There, mother.
He said hastily. Mother!
Mother, sit down. Don't jump to conclusions. You've not brought bad news, I'm sure, sir.
And he eyed the other wistfully.
I'm sorry?
Began the visitor.
Is he hurt?
Demanded the mother wildly. The visitor bowed in assent.
Badly hurt.
She said quietly.
But he is not in any pain. Oh, thank God.
Said the old woman, clasping her hands.
Thank God for that.
She broke off suddenly, as a sinister meaning of the assurance dawned upon her, and she saw the awful confirmation of her fears in the other's averted face. She caught her breath, and turning to her slower-witted husband, laid her trembling old hand upon his. There was a long silence.
He was caught in machinery. God damn.
Indeed. He was fucking minced, bro.
He was minced.
Said the visitor at length in a low voice.
Caught in machinery?
Repeated Mr. White in a dazed fashion.
Yes.
He sat staring blankly out at the window, and taking his wife's hand between his own, pressed it as he had been wont to do in their old courting days, nearly 40 years before.
He was the only one left to us.
Said, turning gently to the visitor.
It is hard.
The other coughed and, rising, walked slowly to the window.
The firm wished me to convey their sincere sympathies with you in your great loss.
He said without looking round.
I beg that you will understand. I am only their servant, and merely obeying orders.
There was no reply. The old woman's face was white, her eyes staring, and her breath inaudible. On the husband's face was a look such as his friend the sergeant might have carried into his first action.
I was to say that Ma and Megan's disclaim all responsibilities.
Continued the other.
They admit to no liability at all, but in consideration of your son's services, they wish to present you with a certain sum as compensation.
Mr. White dropped his wife's hand.
Oh, this motherfucker's gonna get the money.
Gazed with a look of horror at his visitor. His dry lips shaped the words.
How much? 200 pounds. Ah, shit.
Was the answer. Unconscious of his wife's shriek, the old man smiled faintly, put out his hands like a sightless man, and dropped a senseless heap to the floor. Fucking such a good story, bro.
Okay, wait. What? So did they have two sons? And I would like completely miss that?
No, there's an old man. So I think there's the parents, and then I think there's the parents. One of their parents is like fathers is there. So like there's a war guy, Then there's he. I think there's just like an old guy.
Okay.
Like he's like grandpa. That
Okay.
grandpa just lives with them.
I got you.
Yeah. And how long is that? It's been how many minutes?
We're at 26, but I kind of want to read
That
this next chapter.
it's the rest of the book.
We
But we
might
can finish
we
it.
might as well just finish it.
Yeah. In the huge new cemetery, some 2 miles distant, the old people buried their dead and came back to a house steeped in shadow and silence. It was all over so quickly that at first they could hardly realize it. Goddamn. And remained in a state of expectation as though of something else to happen. Something else which was to lighten this load, too heavy for old hearts to bear. But the days passed, and expectation gave place to resignation, the hopelessness the hopeless resignation of the old, sometimes miscalled apathy. Sometimes they hardly exchanged a word, for now they had nothing to talk about, and their days were long to weariness. It was about a week after the old man, waking suddenly in the night, stretches out his hand and found himself alone. The room was in darkness, and the sound of subdued weeping came from the window. He raised himself in bed and listened.
Come back.
He said tenderly,
You will be cold. It is colder for my son.
said the old woman, and wept afresh. The sound of her sobs died away on his ears. The bed was warm, and his eyes heavy with sleep. He dozed fitfully, and then slept until a sudden wild cry from his wife awoke him with a start.
The pa!
You might cut out. I don't know if the recorder got that. That's fucking hilarious, though.
The
It was like,
pa! The pa!
she, she cried wildly.
The monkey's paw!
He started up in alarm.
Where? Where is it? What's the matter?
She came stumbling across the room towards him.
I want it.
She said quietly.
You've not destroyed it. It's in... Okay, my bad.
That's fine, bro.
It's in the parlor, on the bracket.
You replied, marveling.
Why?
She cried and laughed together, and bending over, kissed his cheek.
You did... Okay. Alright, let's lock in here. Let's finish the rest of this. I only just thought of it.
He said hysterically.
Why didn't I think of it before? Why didn't you think of it? Think of what?
He questioned.
The other two wishes.
She replied rapidly.
We've only had one. Was that not enough?
He demanded fiercely.
No.
She cried triumphantly.
Nah, shit. They'd be like, no! I mean, that's not triumphantly, though. It'd be like, what would a
No!
triumph... Yeah, no!
No! Yeah. She cried triumphantly.
Okay. We'll have one more to go... Oh, shit. We'll have one more. Go down and get it quickly. And our wish... Oh, my God.
Our boy.
Wish our boy alive. Again.
The man sat up in bed and flung the bedclothes from his quaking limbs.
Good God. You are mad.
He cried aghast.
Get it?
She panted.
Oh, my God. I don't know why. I said that like I had a question mark on it.
You do. You say it like in the different tones or like different. It sounds like it's in a different sentence sometimes.
Yeah, I know. Get it? But I
She
feel like there
panted.
should be like an exclamation mark there. It's like,
Yes, fair. Get it?
get it quickly, and wish. Oh, my boy, my boy.
Her husband struck a match and lit the candle.
Get back to bed.
He said unsteadily.
You don't know what you are saying. We had the first wish granted.
Said the old woman feverishly.
Why not the second? A coincidence?
Stammered the old man.
I just lost where we are.
Uh,
Oh, there we are. Go and get it, and wish.
cried his wife, quivering with excitement. The old man turned and regarded her, and his voice shook.
He has been dead 10 days, and besides, he. I would not tell you else, but I could only recognize him by his clothing. If he was too terrible for you to see then, how now? Bring him back.
Cried the old woman, and dragged him toward the door.
Do you think I fear the child I have nursed?
He's probably looking like ground beef, bro.
Yeah.
He went down in the darkness and felt his way to the parlor, and then to the mantelpiece. The talisman was in its place, and a horrible fear that the unspoken wish might bring his mutilated son before him. Er, ear? Before him, ear. He could escape from the room seized upon him, and he caught his breath as he found that he had lost the direction of the door. His brow cold with sweat, he felt his way round the table and groped along the wall until he found himself in the small passage with the unwholesome thing in his hand. Even his wife's face seemed changed as he entered the room. It was white and expectant, and to his fears seemed to have an unnatural look upon it. He was afraid of her.
Wish!
She cried in a strong voice.
It is foolish and wicked.
He faltered,
Wish!
repeated his wife. He raised his hand.
I wish my son alive again!
The talisman fell to the floor, and he regarded it fearfully. Then he sank, trembling, into a chair as the old woman, with burning eyes, walked to the window and raised the blind. He sat until he was chilled with the cold, glancing glancing occasionally at the figure of the old woman peering through the window. The candle end, which had burned below the rim of the china candlestick, was throwing pulsating shadows on the ceiling and walls, until, with a flicker larger than the rest, it expired. The old man, with an unspeakable sense of relief at the failure of the talisman, crept back into his bed, and a minute or two afterward the old woman came silently and apathetically beside him. Neither spoke, but lay silently listening to the ticking of the clock. A stair creaked, and a squeaky mouse scurried noisily through the wall. The darkness was oppressive, and after lying for some time, screwing up his courage, he took the box of matches, and striking one, went downstairs for a candle. At the foot of the stairs the match went out, and he paused to strike another, and at the same moment a knock, so quiet and stealthy as to be scarcely audible, sounded on the front door. The matches fell from his hand and spilled in the passage. He stood motionless, his breath suspended until the knock was repeated. Then he turned and fled swiftly back to his room, and closed the door behind him. A third knock sounded through the house.
What's that?
Cried the old woman, starting up.
A rat.
Said the old man in shaking tones.
A rat? It passed me on the stairs.
His wife sat up in bed listening, a loud knock resounding through the house.
It's Herbert.
She screamed.
It's Herbert!
She ran to the door, but her husband was before her, and catching her by the arm, held her tightly.
What are you going to do?
He whispered hoarsely.
God damn it. It's my boy. It's Herbert.
She cried, struggling mechanically.
I forgot it was 2 miles away. It's my boy. It's Herbert. Oh. Oh.
What?
What? Don't worry.
Oh, I
don't. Yeah, don't worry about that. I didn't do that.
Here.
I know. I'm just gonna reread that. I forgot it was 2 miles away. What are you holding me for? Let's go. I must open the door. For God's sake, don't let it in.
Cried the old man, trembling.
You're afraid of your own son?
She cried, struggling.
Let me go. I'm coming, Herbert. I'm coming.
There was another knock, and another. The old woman, with a sudden wrench, broke free and ran from the room. Her husband followed to the landing and called after her appealingly as she hurried downstairs. He heard the chain rattle back and the bottom bolt drawn slowly and stiffly from the socket. Then the old woman's voice, strained and panting.
The bolt.
She cried loudly,
Come down, I can't reach it.
but her husband was on his hands and knees, groping wildly at the floor in search of the paw. If he could only find it before the thing outside got in. A perfect fusillade of knocks reverberating through the house, and he heard the scraping of a chair as his wife put it down in the passage against the door. He heard the creaking of the bolt as it came slowly back, and at the same moment he found the monkey's paw and frantically breathed his third and last wish. The knocking ceased suddenly. Although the echoes of it were still in the house, he heard the chair drawn back and the door opened. A cold wind rushed up the staircase, and a long, loud wail of disappointment and misery from his wife gave him courage to run down to her side, and then to the gate beyond. The street lamp flickering opposite shone on a quiet and deserted road.
Is it?
He wished that boy out of existence, bro. That was
Is
a
it?
demon.
Oh, okay, wait. So is it implied that like she opened the door, there's
It,
nothing there? Or she opened the door and the
no,
motherfucker
no.
was all like fucked
It
up.
would have been a monster, like a fucking like it revived him. Like, probably like a zombie or like a demon or some shit.
What the fuck did she expect? Like he literally like implied that he's fucked up. Like early on, he's like he's probably gonna be fucked up.
Yeah, but she's like a woman in
No, I understand
uh.
that. I know, I understand.
But yeah, it's fucking.
That was good. I liked that actually.
It was a really good little short story.
It's better than the other
Sick.
one that we read.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. 1896. I think.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh no, release date. Oh, that's the book. Yeah, it's old.
That shit's old. You could hear it with some of the words and like the dialogue.
Yeah,
That was good though.
it was. Enjoyed that.